Resolution 08-1010B. And you have a copy of the resolution, Paul?
Do you want me to read it out? Because I know that not everybody has seen
Everyone
it.
saw the final version of it. Sure.
Would you like me to give it to you?
Or I could read it, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is Resolution 08-1010B, a resolution opposing forced local government mergers and consolidations. Whereas the Borough of Newtown, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, United States, is a municipality with a population of more than 2,300 residents and numerous businesses. And whereas the Borough of Newtown, a full-service government, provides quality and essential services to residents that only a municipality can offer. And whereas the Borough of Newtown government is a full-service government which includes a 24-hour full-time police department, building inspector, and zoning code enforcement officer, emergency management apparatus, an elected mayor, a 6-member council and staff, a zoning hearing board, planning commission, civil service commission, recreation board, environmental advisory council, historic architectural review board, and shade tree commission. And whereas the Borough of Newtown provides governmental services similar to most of the other townships, cities, and boroughs in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and whereas the citizens and businesses of these municipalities take great pride in living in a community that is self-sufficient and provides governmental services that are beneficial on a personal level, and whereas House Bill 2431 of Session 2010 would, if adopted, change the Pennsylvania Constitution and establish the county as the basic level of local government in Pennsylvania, with the municipalities existing only under the jurisdiction of the county and having only those duties and responsibilities as determined by the county. And whereas Senate Bill 1357 of the session of 2010 would, if adopted, establish an unelected statewide boundary commission to review and make recommendations to the General Assembly for the merger, consolidation, or annexation of municipalities. And whereas both bills would eliminate many current townships, cities, and boroughs, and whereas both bills would jeopardize the right of Pennsylvania citizens to live in a society that was founded on representative democratic principles, and whereas the current form of local government allows local residents to hold elected officials accountable, and whereas the current form of local government allows for a timely response to local crime, safety, fire, and codes enforcement issues, and whereas eliminating local governments will lead to larger, more corrupt government to preside over a larger constituency of citizens, and whereas these two bills will bail out the large cities that have improperly spent their funds over the last several decades while punishing the smaller communities that have spent frugally and have strived to make intelligent fiscal decisions while spreading limited resources in a manner that would most benefit the community, and whereas the borough supports the voluntary merger or consolidation of local governments if the process is initiated at the local level and it has the support of the majority of the residents of all affected municipalities, and whereas the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs opposes House Bill 2431 and Senate Bill 1357. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Borough of Newtown opposes any measure, initiative, or plan that mandates the forced merger, consolidation, or annexation of local governments, and be it further resolved that the General Assembly be urged to oppose House Bill 2431 and Senate Bill 1357 and any similar kind of legislation that has been or may be introduced in the future to mandate forced consolidation, merger, or annexation of local governments in Pennsylvania. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to our state senator, state representative, and the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs.
So I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 08-1010B, opposing forced local government mergers and consolidations.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Just a couple words. When this came up on Wednesday, I was curious as to the origin of it, both geographically and the rationale behind it. And thanks for Representative Sanasario to come here to explain some of that. And I understand the cost cutting, and it's a noble effort to try to have efficiency in government and save taxpayer dollars. But I don't think this is a way to do that. I think there's other ways to approach that. But anyway, I was really bothered by this bill in the office and in the House, and I finally realized why I was bothered by it, because it goes against the DNA of America. And I looked at an old book, Alexis de Tocqueville, Democracy in America, and he says it really clear in here. And this is in a section where he's talking about the spirit of townships of New England. In America, not only do municipal bodies exist, but they are kept alive and supported by town spirit. The Township of New England possesses two advantages which strongly excite the interests of mankind, namely independence and authority. Its sphere is limited indeed, but within that sphere, its actions is unrestrained. This independence alone gives it real importance, which is extent and population would not ensure. So, this was an observer of a young democracy in America in 1830, and I think his words today are very much true today. His words then are very much true today. So it just bothered me from a very core element of why municipalities exist, why we have great places like Newtown Borough where there's a sense of place, and I think that sense of place is due to the community involvement. So.
Yeah, well said, Gerard. I'd like to echo that and simply say, look, local government is one of the last vestiges we have of government that the United States began with, where government was much closer to the people, when society was relatively small, and you could have that kind of direct impact. To take that away is, as you said, to take away something fundamental about our system and about who we are as Americans. It's what we expect as citizens, to be able to have that kind of impact, to be able to come to a meeting like this and stand up and speak out about what we believe in and try to make change. And I think, we should rue the day that gets taken away from us. And we should fight to make sure it doesn't get taken away from us. So I applaud you for bringing this up tonight.
Anyone else on council wish to speak to this? Would anyone from the audience wish to speak regarding this resolution before we vote? Was that your comment? That was it. Okay. Okay, if not, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I want to thank you all for doing that and for giving me the opportunity to speak and bring this forward in the agenda. I know you have other things to talk about tonight. I'd be remiss, however, if I left without saying one more thing. And this is a plug for my chief of staff, and in particular her son. As many of you know, Rose Winchell, a resident of the borough, is my chief of staff, and her son, James Closser, is on the Council Rock Newtown 12-year-old Little League team that right now is in the Mid-Atlantic Regionals in Connecticut. And you probably know already they've won the first 3 games that they played, so they're 3-0 so far in pool play. And we're rooting them on, and I'm sure all of you are as well, and hope that they can get to the next stage of the Little League World Series. So go Newtown. We'll see. Hopefully we'll have another World Series ahead of us. So thank you. Good night.